Hey guys, my name's James.
And I'm Corwyn.
And welcome to This Movie's Gay. Ooh, Corwyn, how you doing this week? How you been? Actually, it's been more than a week. It's been a week and a half.
Week and a half. We're recording late.
Ooh, because it's actually a good thing. Okay, I have a story to tell you.
Okay.
So, originally, I went this past weekend, went to a wedding in Muskegon, Michigan. That's where I'm from. That's where I was, didn't want to be born and raised there, but unfortunately I was.
You can't choose where you're born and raised.
Yeah. Okay, so I was there, I was going to say I was there not enjoying it. Well, I was there now. I was enjoying it when I lived there, did not enjoy it. That's why we moved to beautiful Chicago City. So, we were there.
Come again? What's that?
Chicago City.
Oh, God.
And Nicole and I were supposed to go to the bus station to drop me off in Holland, Michigan on Monday. We started going there and then we got a flat tire. We did not make it. And that was on, or I think I meant to say on Sunday. Sunday night, that's what was supposed to happen. So we get home, I'm peeved because it will have to be another day and then that messes up with my schedule. So it's a good thing we didn't plan on recording on Monday, which we normally do. However, I sat down 2 hours later. I remember, I did not upload This Movie's Gay because I thought I was going to be home. And then I was like, Frank. Well, immediately I knew this was going to happen. I need to make sure Dana from The Rewind and our old coworker needs to feed Frank again. And then it clicks in my head, hey, I guess I'm going to have to pay Dana more to upload this podcast. So I had to pay Dana, she might have done it for free, but I paid Dana $5 to upload that into the cloud so then I can then upload it onto Anchor because it's much easier to do that than to just have Dana upload it to Anchor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, freaking out because I'm like, this is unprofessional. If I don't upload this, it would be bad. And so I download it, I upload it, which takes a very long time. Nicole's family lives out in the country. They have extremely slow internet. And then I'm listening to it for the episode summary, and it just sounds it sounds like someone put a filter on it, and it's like you can only hear the bass from 3 rooms away. And I'm like, what happened? Did Dana accidentally upload this incorrectly? Which she almost did because she tried from a different computer. She's like, hey, James, it's saying it can't find the path to this file. And I'm like, Dana, I don't know what's wrong. And I remember Dana 5 minutes earlier when trying to put it on the USB saying, James, should it be the shortcut? Should I be pasting a shortcut? And I'm like, no, Dana, no, please do not upload. Don't put the shortcut there because you're transferring it to a different computer. It won't know the shortcut.
Yeah.
Dana did do the shortcut. But we figured it out. We got it up there. And then I'm just listening to it. And I'm like, Nicole, either this file got corrupted when Dana transferred it, or maybe your headphone jack is messed up. And Nicole says, my headphone jack is fine. And then I'm like, okay, I'll download it again. And then I download it again. And I'm just like, I'm pulling out clumps of my hair, just having a full-blown panic attack.
Oh, no.
Thinking like, oh, man, I wasted $5 to get this uploaded. I'm wasting a bunch of time. I could be enjoying Saturday Night Live right now. It's going to be unprofessional. C's going to hate us because this isn't uploaded on time. So I download it again and it sounds the same. It sounds like trash. So I'm like, And Nicole's like, let me see my computer. Sees it. And I'm like, okay, Nicole, just unplug the headphones and let's hear what it sounds like on the speakers. And she's like, no, let me check this stuff. Puts on the headphones, still sounds like trash. And then she unplugs it, sounds fantastic. So Nicole, who's like, it's not my headphone jack, James, my computer's perfect. Nicole has a fucked up headphone jack, and I was so upset that I had a panic attack because of it.
And I think you were messaging me through this.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't get any of those until afterwards. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to but I wasn't fully conveying, hey man, I'm having a full-blown panic attack.
Yeah, I think I might have answered once earlier and been like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then, or something like that. But yeah.
It did make me...
Especially seeing a stream of messages from James.
It did make me want to just like give keys to like you and TC and Anissa. So if anything like that were to happen, I can say, hey, can you go to the house and just do this for me? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, shoot, Dana has to use my computer. And oh, man, I hope pornography isn't opened up right now, because that would be terrible. She's like, oh, James, why are you watching this?
I feel like that's one of those things you've like gotten a new computer. You've never watched porn on it a day in your life. And then someone borrows it and you're like, oh, God, is porn on it?
Yes.
I'm like, that's the anxiety that we all live with as millennials.
I don't want her to see, oh, James, why is he searching Japanese uncensored? Because you have to search that in order to get it, guys.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, that was my follow-up from this week.
That sounds awful.
The wedding, though, was fantastic. That part was great. I thought, yes, this is like a fantastic weekend in Muskegon. And then it gets soiled by that. Yeah. Luckily, they switched my ticket over. I was afraid they weren't going to have to do that because I called Greyhound, was on hold for 25 minutes. Then they said, oh, unfortunately, you purchased these through Indian Trails through us, so you have to call them. So I called them, and it says, unfortunately, we're not open. But we do have an emergency after hours lines. So I called that, and he put me on hold for like 7 minutes and said, hey, since you purchased these through Greyhound, a manager needs to handle this order, and there's no manager. You have to call tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, God, I wanted to get on the 7 a.m. bus, but never mind.
It sounds like you had an adventure. I did see a Facebook video of you and Nicole dancing.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was enjoyable.
We were dancing like a pup named Scooby-Doo, how they danced on there. And then this one guy who was a pretty good dancer, I just like look at Nicole and everyone, and I'm like, everyone start going like dead armed. Just like shake your body and just have dead arms. And he's like, this is so unrhythmic. What are you doing? I don't like this. I was like, try it out, man. Try it out.
It sounds like you were like halfway to doing the Bernie a little bit.
The Bernie?
Yeah, it's like that dance where you stand and you're bending back a little bit and you're just like shaking your shoulders.
Is this the Bernie Sanders?
No.
Ooh.
No, it's from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, the Weekend at Bernie Sanders. You know that's an internet video somewhere.
If it's not, you should make it.
Weekend at Bernie Sanders. It's him giving you free healthcare, baby.
Yeah, love that.
Don't go to your notes yet. Oh,
but
Corwyn.
We're like 10 minutes in. We need to introduce the
Last
movie.
Week, it was 40 minutes in. And
no,
it was
we
beautiful.
Introduced it way before then.
Yeah, after you picked up, Corwyn went to his notes and I smacked it out of his hands and said, "Nerd, pick it up." And when he tried to pick it up, I kicked it, and then Frank sat on it because that's what he does to papers on the ground.
I feel like between the two of us, you're more of the nerd and I'm more of the bully.
What?
Yeah, like just in real life.
No, I middle finger everyone. Middle fingers up, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, the movie we watched this week is Fourth Man Out. It's from 2015.
Which it's been on my list to watch since 2015 because Jon Gabrus is in it.
Yeah, I said we're watching this movie, and then James was like, is it the one with Jon Gabrus in it? I was like,
yeah.
Who? What?
Originally, though, maybe this was another movie that he made. I thought, not he made, one that he's in. I thought the plot line, I think this is one that he did with Adam Pally. I thought this one was a single guy going to a bachelor party and the other people are married, so it's like the fourth man out. But no, this movie was fantastic.
It was really good. I enjoy it. I think I got this movie confused with another movie after I watched it. I don't know what the other movie is, but for some reason I just had an initial dislike to that character.
Who Jon Gabrus is?
Yeah, because I thought that he causes drama, but it's not. It that didn't happen. So I'm like, oh, I'm confusing this with another movie, and this one was actually pretty lovely.
Yeah.
So,
and in the beginning, this movie does such a great job of conveying awkward tension.
yes.
Like, it made me feel uncomfortable.
James, I feel like you said this is uncomfortable like 3 times.
Yeah. Oh.
Just in regards to what's happening on the screen, not in regards to sitting there and watching the movie with me.
No.
It's actually a
no.
very enjoyable movie.
No, I was like, oh man, I hope Corwyn likes this movie.
I've seen this before.
Okay.
It's a rare day that I'm showing you a movie that I haven't seen before, except for things like that. If it's something like that, I probably haven't seen it. But any of these other movies, I've more than likely seen it or like know enough about it that I'm like, I'm familiar with this.
I was on Tubi over the weekend and I was like, I saw a movie that was recommended to me in LGBTQ and I was like, oh man, I have to just send a picture of this to Corwyn to say we have to do this movie. But it was like a lesbian werewolf movie. So
let's watch it.
Okay, yeah, we will watch. Hey guys, we know what movie we're watching next week. Or do you have a guest planned?
Yes. No, I feel like, so we're coming up on my birthday. So I want to watch something specific for that. And then the next month is literally the week after my birthday is Pride Week in Chicago. So that's Pride in the United States pretty much. And I feel like we should do stuff for that. So we will talk about that later after the podcast when we hang out for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we're having dinner at Siam Country.
We're having dinner, having some food.
When you guys are listening to this at night, we'll be at Siam Country. I'm kidding.
That won't happen, but
unless you time travel.
Well, also you upload these at like midnight, so.
Well, no, I'm saying the Monday of.
Oh, the Monday of?
Yeah.
I mean, possibly. Well, I don't know when we were recording next, but yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
Danny Tamborelli style.
I like that I just kicked this mic stand around a lot. You're going to have trouble right there. Sorry. So, Fourth Man Out. James is very excited about this movie. I enjoy this movie a lot. It's basically the story is a guy who has 3 friends, 3 dude
BFFs.
friends. They're really close, really good friends. He comes out to them and they're in like their early 20s. So
which they are not.
Yeah, no, they're not in real life. But in the movie he's 24.
Jack
but they
Bauer.
like grew up together and all that. So they're very familiar with each other. So it kind of throws them all through a loop that he came out. So it's them trying to learn more about their friend and his journey in self-acceptance and stuff. That's a nice way to put that, I guess. And yeah, it's just him talking about him being lonely and wanting to find someone. And he goes on a lot of dates and stuff. And that's it. That's pretty much the movie.
Real bad.
Yeah, real bad.
And then, of course, the best of the best friends has this shitty girlfriend who puts in thoughts of like,
shitty.
Oh, your friend wants to F you.
Yeah, she says that he's obviously in love with him and all of that, but no, he feels like he's his brother.
Yeah.
So like that's the whole thing. And then at one point they are super drunk after a double date with that girl and her friend who was obnoxious, and
I thought he was cool as fuck.
Oh my god.
No, I vocally said, "Oh, just leave."
He did. So they got really drunk, and then at one point, Adam, our main character, takes Chris's phone. I think it's Chris, the best friend.
Yeah.
Chris's phone and has it on his other side, and then Chris reaches over to grab his phone, but does it in a really weird way, and basically puts his face in front of Adam's face, and Adam thinks that he's trying to kiss him, so he like goes in for a kiss, and then they're like, oh god, and Adam's like, oh fuck, I fucked up. And then they have a small falling out where they don't talk to each other and they don't hang out with their other friends for a few weeks until 4th of July, and they all come together.
And marriage happens, proposals.
Proposal happens. Marriage doesn't happen. We don't see a marriage, but we do see proposal, sort of.
That's marriage to me. Proposal for marriage.
We didn't even see a proposal. We saw, did he propose or was he? Oh, I thought he was more like, He's like,
No, he had the ring box.
Family. By the way, we're engaged. No, okay.
And remember,
I was writing notes at that
she
time.
said yes, and he said that's a great answer.
Oh, okay. Well, that was James's favorite actor in this.
Yeah.
So, and it's just overall a lovely thing, lovely story. The friends all come together. There's no big drama except for that moment.
Yeah.
It's more like they just suddenly make themselves feel awkward, and because they're shy and all of that, they have trouble coming to terms with that awkward moment. And then when they finally do come together, they, resolve it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
They resolve it by Chris kissing Adam because they're both just talking, and then Chris was like, how does that feel? And Adam's like, it feels like I'm kissing my brother. Ugh.
Yeah, and if you want to kiss your brother, you kinky as hell, dude.
That's gross. Stay away. So
Stay away.
We don't do incest here.
We don't do that incest here. Like Pink Floyd.
It's James's next song. Speaking of songs, actually, the lead, Evan Todd, one of the reasons I enjoy this movie is he's a Broadway actor. And he was
in Dear Evan Hansen?
No.
Because his name's Evan?
No.
Dang it.
But he was in Heathers the Musical and in Spring
Hamilton.
Awakening.
Okay.
So he's pretty cool.
Do you think
I
he's
enjoy
ever done
him.
Shakespeare in high school?
I mean, I think he went to Juilliard.
That's a college, not a high school.
I don't know what he did for high school. I don't know. I just follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And
Wonder if he did
fun.
Grease in high school. I'm just listing things that absolutely, if you were in
No.
Beauty and the Beast,
but
Sweeney Todd.
So he's a singer for musicals and stuff and performer. He's really good. He's also an openly gay man. He's engaged. I enjoyed watching him in this. And then we also have his other friend who I don't remember the name, the one that's always reading and has the anger issues.
Yeah.
Was it Nate?
I have no idea.
I don't remember his name, but he's from Glee. So when we first started watching it, I was like, Cordova Street, that name sounds so familiar because it's a weird name, but
I have
also
a friend
it
named
sounds
Cord.
familiar. So
Not spelled like that, though.
Yeah, it's Sam from Glee.
Of course he's in Glee. His name is a musical note.
Yeah, so we've got two singers in this, and we didn't have a song. Again, this is the second week in a row where we have musical people and no songs.
Yeah, it doesn't need to have that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It was good.
That would be like, oh, The Rock's in a movie. Why isn't he wrestling? They're multifaceted.
I mean, he does wrestle in quite a few movies.
Yeah, wrestles with his inner dialogue. No, I mean like professional wrestling.
No. He
fights.
He does fight though.
I thought you were gonna say he does
him.
fights.
He does fights.
But that would be like, okay, if Common's in a movie, should he be rapping?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't.
I thought you were gonna say I don't know who Common is.
I know who Common is. Only from that. Nope, not even gonna try. I do know who he is though. So yeah, I enjoyed the movie. What are some of your thoughts and things, James?
It was just a fantastic, I liked the movie. It was a great movie. I don't have, besides quotes that I wrote down, I don't think I have really a lot. I do have a couple stories to tell. Well, first I would like to ask you, how do you eat a banana?
I put the whole thing in my mouth, and then I pull the peel out, and that's
it. Some of those things I think were improv'd by him because Jon Gabrus is, and I think what's the main character's name? Adam. When Adam asks his friends, "Hey, would you like to come over to my parents' house? I'm going to come out." All of them are like, I have things to do. Jon Gabrus's character says, "Ooh, Michelle and I have a Groupon," which that because it's so real.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, if you don't know Jon Gabrus, the thing that he prides himself in, he's like, I'm not great at a lot of things, but I know I'm a great husband. And so he clearly knows, like, hey, you can't return a Groupon. If you have it, you need to use it.
You got a Groupon. You use it. I've actually had friends that are like, I got a Groupon and I need to use it.
Yeah.
You want to come? I'm like, yes, I will.
I've only ever used Groupon for weird Chicago tours. It's just like haunted tours about murderers and stuff.
I did do a haunted Segway tour through Groupon
Nice.
through Chicago. I did it with a Segway company that I actually went with at my job. They gave us a free tour.
Nice.
And that was super fun. So I was like, I want to go back. I wore a crown. I shimmied. It was great.
What is this? Why were you wearing a crown for a haunted tour?
They have like helmets that have things on top of them for like fun helmets.
Oh, okay.
And if the tour group wants to do a fun helmet, they can do the fun helmet. So I'm like, yeah, give me that goddamn crown.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna
now.
wear the crown. And they'll pry it out of my cold dead hands.
Okay, if you got Princess Diaried, could you do it?
Like told that I'm the princess of a foreign nation and that
did you say princess or prince?
I said princess.
Okay. Oh, either or.
I think I'd fall well into that.
Yeah.
I need to learn a lot more politics, foreign politics specifically.
All you need to know is their traditions, I think. If you're royalty, you don't need to know politics.
Please give me a makeover and a wardrobe change
and
thing,
let me turn the big stairs into a slide with my friends.
And I mean, I will slide down some stairs with a mattress. Like, that sounds lovely.
And let me fall in love with, Anne Hathaway.
I don't want to fall in love with Anne Hathaway. I want to fall in love with, I don't even know who she falls in love with in the movie.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. I was going to start describing the guy in the Cinderella story with...
Well, I know Chris Pine is in the movie, but I think he's an antagonist. I think he's the bad one. But I'm also like, hey, Chris Pine.
It would have to be Chris Pine.
No, I think he's the bad guy.
Okay. Wait, no, I'm thinking
like
of Chris Evans. If Chris Evans were in it, he would have to be the hunk.
I mean, they're both hunks, so...
But Chris Pine is more... Chris Pine, Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Star Trek? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he's more of like he can play a villain more.
You're saying he's the bad boy?
Yeah, and Chris Evans back then was like, not another teen movie.
He did not another teen movie, and he also did Fantastic Four as the
Flame On.
Yeah, and
so yeah, he's a hunk. He's a fun,
hunk, but
he's a fun-loving.
He could
hunk,
also be the bad boy. So,
but not the bad guy.
Not. I mean, I don't think the
guys.
I don't
Let
think
us know.
I don't. It's a great movie. We're gonna watch that.
What? Princess Diary
Yeah,
too?
No, not during the podcast. Just as friends.
Guys, let us know. Chris Pine or Chris Evans, who's a bad guy and who's a bad boy?
Both.
What if this... we got to write a movie where they're trying to figure out which one's a bad guy and which one's a bad boy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say write a movie where I get Princess Diary.
Oh, yeah, we can do that too.
Chris Pine and Chris Evans. Love it. Let's do it.
How would we convince them to do this movie? By a great script and a fantastic director. Who would we get to direct this to really seal the deal? Scorsese?
Oh.
No, James, we're trying to do a comedy. So then I guess like Adam McKay.
I don't know directors either.
The Russo
I'm so
brothers
bad with
are
that.
in.
Let's get Taika Waititi. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, he did
I only read it.
In the Shadows.
Yeah, he also did Ragnarok.
Okay. Yeah, let's get him.
Perfect.
He's friends with Flight of the Conchords. We gotta get him. I think he's also really into rugby. Heard him on a podcast once.
More than I do. Great. We've got our next movie idea.
We still haven't started the first one.
We haven't. We need a sword and sorcery movie.
Yes, guys, we got to.
That's the one movie I can't find.
It's insane. I have seen just one TV series that is, and that's it. But it's not, it's what's the word for fantasy when it's light fantasy, but not. There's a specific Game of Thrones is this kind of fantasy where it's not just tons of magic and sorcery happening. It's not high fantasy, is it?
No. Is it Sword and Sand? No.
No. It's we don't know, guys.
We don't know.
But this series I've seen isn't very magical. It's just kind of set back then, and there's a hint at magic.
Okay.
But I don't remember the name of it.
Is it LGBT?
Yes, it's L.
It's L.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to find that. I cannot think of any.
I think it's on Vimeo.
Oh, then yeah, I definitely don't know. I never watch anything on Vimeo.
You have seen one thing from Vimeo. Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror.
That's it.
Guys, okay.
God, he mentioned it again.
I am so sorry to the fans. Last week I didn't bring it up once.
God. And we did really well on that episode.
No. What's it called is doing very well. That was last week's was
Hurricane Bianca?
Yeah, Hurricane Bianca, I brought it up.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Gotta bring it up every time, baby. Especially to a guest. Of course I'm bringing it up to a guest. Unless I didn't, then I'm sorry, Brooke. Next time you're on.
I will go through some of my notes before you start going on about Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror. The invasive neighbor confused me. I have never been... I'm even Southern, so we do have some, neighborly interactions and things, but I've never seen a neighbor so invasive in that she was just like always bringing him baked goods and trying to set him up with her niece.
It felt like it could have been a family friend or just someone the family knew and he happened to live next to. Also, where are they living that this dude, a mechanic, can... Or I guess mechanics, were they living together or did they all have separate houses?
They had separate houses.
Dang. Yeah.
I mean,
live
not
where
Chicago,
they live.
but like, I feel like mechanic in other places you could get a good, decent living on that. I don't know about mechanics, to be honest. I was very intrigued.
I know if you were the prime mechanic and you owned your own place, yeah, that's good money, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I think in Chicago you probably make bank.
I don't know, but yeah, he was enjoyable. The mechanic, the bar that they were drinking at was called the Grog Shop. Have I told you about the word grog?
No.
Okay, so that was actually one of my nicknames growing up from my father because I was very groggy in the morning. I was hard to wake up, so he'd always call me Grog. So that's a fun little fact.
Hey, aren't we all groggy as children?
I am so hard to wake up in the morning.
Once I get a shower, I'm fine and up and ready.
Oh, yeah, same. But like that initial like trying to wake up, at least I was. When I was at my old job, I was like that.
The one we worked together?
Yeah,
okay.
And even like before that, I was like that. But lately, after I left that job and after I started doing like this and started going more into doing performing things and like that, I've just been happier.
Well, yeah,
and
because
it's been a lot easier to get up and going.
Yeah, our job was terrible.
Also, working till midnight kind of sucks.
I loved that part. I loved working nights.
I mean, I'm up nights, but I wouldn't want to do that work at night.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If I was performing in a show,
actually,
nights,
no,
perfect.
That job doing nights there sucked because there wasn't anything to do, or there was too much to do because shit just hit the fan.
Yeah. I just know that it was like I would always get off late and then I'd go home and I'd have to take time to like settle down, get collected, all of that before I could go to sleep. And then I've got really bad insomnia to begin with. So I wouldn't end up going to sleep until like 5 a.m.
I would just right away, I'd get home, brush my teeth, then go to sleep when I worked nights there, and then would wake up at 8 or 9.
See, that wouldn't work for me because as soon as if I ever did fall asleep immediately, I'd wake up at like 3 a.m.
What I loved about it was Frank would always meet me at the door. And one time, Nicole's usually sleeping, but she didn't work the next day. And I came up and she said, "James, as soon as, because it was during the summer, windows were open, said, as soon as we heard your keys outside at the gate, Frank darted to the door. I was like, oh, he's such a cute man. Frank's my cat, if you are just listening for the first time.
Frank's his cat. So cute.
I got a story to tell.
Okay,
so he's going on a bunch of dates.
Yeah.
And that montage of things. And first, that guy saying, ooh, he had the best dick, and then pulls out this loaf of bread and says,
mini baguette.
yes, and said this big, and that's just too big.
It's very big.
It's gigantic. You're never going to put that in all the way of something, so it's bad. Like, I feel bad for dudes with, like, anything larger than, like, 9 inches. I start to feel bad.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, like, it's just going to hurt whoever you're with unless they're experienced with it. Guys, to anyone out there more than 9 inches, I console you.
Oh,
okay, but
that's hilarious.
one of the things where his friends are amping him up before he goes on all these dates is saying, hey, you're a guy, you know what guys like. You know, I wish I could fart around a guy or around a girl. And he does that on maybe purpose, maybe accident.
I think it was accident. Apparently they ate 2 nacho platters.
Yes.
So he was having some digestive issues.
Well, making out, and then the guy leaves. So I have a story about
out
this.
Of the car and leaves. And he was the nicest one.
And okay, so I've told a story about this person before. I won't say their names, but if you listen through past episodes, you might be able to be like, ooh, maybe he was talking about this person. So this person in high school told me a story where she was filleting a guy and the guy farted during the blowjob. And this is how she described it. I got up, put on my shoes, and just left. Didn't talk to him, didn't say anything, just got up, left, and I don't think ever talked to this guy again.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Just like a boss said, I don't have to deal with this.
That's the same thing that the dude did to Adam. They started to make out, he farted once, he was like, what? And they started making out again, and then he did it again, and then he just got out and left.
I thought the second fart was going to be the other guy, and the guy was going to like wink at him. That was what I was hoping for.
No. It was way too early in the movie for that, James.
Yeah. Well, then if it was more of a comedy instead of like a slice of life movie, I think it would have been that. But and then like an even bigger fart, and then Adam would be like, oh, no, thank you. This is too much. This dude's into cakefarts.com.
Oh, God.
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's just like where people were sitting on cakes and like farting on them.
That sounds disgusting.
It was
James.
like a sexual thing.
Oh, God.
They talk about it on Brie Larson's character on United States of Terra does stuff like that.
Brie Larson was in United States of Terra?
Yeah. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Yes. She was the daughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was Brie Larson.
Yeah, that's where I'm pretty sure, I'm positive.
Oh my God.
Because before that, she was in Disney movies. Oh, Corwyn's checking it right now.
I'm going to check it.
And I'm going to fill in some time.
I need to rewatch that show.
I don't think I ever finished it because I was watching it with, no, I think we did, but I was watching it with an ex-girlfriend. We might not have finished it, but it is a great show.
I remember the son because his name in the show was Moose and he was gay. Loved it.
Corwyn's checking it out. Let me so gallery guy, that's what I named him. They said, oh, seems unthreatening, but he then says, I'm going to go. He was a super pretentious art dude and terrible, and I'm glad they ripped into this guy. And he said, well, I'm going to go see my friend. He DJs under E-Jack at the Ince bar. And that's a great name for that. When he was as a mechanic, his mechanic friend is always trying to say like, ooh, did you bang that girl last night? Trying to get deets from him. And finally at the breaking point, he just...
This is my favorite part.
He just goes, I don't know tits. I'm gay.
No, he said, I don't know titties. I'm gay. It's great.
Was Brie Larson in it?
Yes,
Okay.
Brie Larson was in United States Tara. I'm going to rewatch that show.
She sits on a cake and a balloon, I think, and pops them.
That's weird. I didn't know that. But yeah, that's great.
She's Captain Marvelous now.
She's Captain Marvelous.
And Room.
And what?
Room. She's Room.
Who?
The titular character of Room. She's Room.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, you know the movie where she's been in a room for 15 years or something because she got kidnapped. And
No.
she has a kid in the room.
Oh God.
It's either Room or The Room. You know, I get those movies mixed up.
I feel like
with
there's 6 of them.
Tommy Wiseau, that the
Yeah.
midnight. Yeah, you know Room.
I know of. I haven't seen either.
You should check that Riff Tracks did Room or The Room. Again, I don't. They did not do the Oscar nominated or winning movie. They did the B movie of whichever the Tommy Wiseau movie is.
I wrote awkward bathroom down because that was also a funny scene where Adam's trying to come out to his friends and he's struggling telling them. Every time he works up the courage to try to tell them, they waylay it, they sidetrack it, and he just doesn't do it. So in the bathroom, he's like, "Come on, you can do this," or whatever. And the guy beside him just goes, "Don't yell at it.
Don't yell at the little guy.
Don't yell at the little guy."
I always have to tell that to Nicole when she's yelling at Frank.
It was so funny.
Nicole really doesn't yell at Frank, just so everyone knows she's not abusive.
I'm glad you put that PSA in there. That needed to be said.
On Mostly Speaking Sentai, I'm constantly making the joke that Nicole hits Frank. So I need to... because she did it while sleeping once on accident, and I felt so bad. So now it's just a recurring joke, and she feels bad about it. Sometimes we give his butt little pats to say, dude, get out of here.
Get out of here, Frank.
You just pooped. We don't want you over here.
You smell bad.
His breath.
Go clean yourself up.
I wish he could brush his teeth.
I mean, can't you? Aren't there little dental treats?
Yeah, he's not going to let us do that. Oh, wait, treats? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they exist. I know they do for dogs.
But it's just because he eats the same things all the time. It smells like, when you go to the zoo and you go into the penguin enclosure? That's what his mouth smells like.
Well, just, get the dental treats.
Smells like hot water and fish.
Gross.
Yeah, he's a gross boy. Will they taste like mint?
I don't know. I think
I'll
they
just give
don't.
him some Listerine.
No, don't give him Listerine.
Frank, you want some Listerine?
No, he doesn't want Listerine.
Oh, man, he's like, is it food? Because if it is, my tummy's grumbling.
Don't need him trying to get the crumbs.
Oh, yeah.
Out of my beard.
Corwyn had croissants, and then he started eating the croissant. And then Frank just leaps into his lap and tries to eat crumbs out of his beard.
I kept just putting the paper in the way because I try not to eat directly with my hands. For one, because I just don't like getting my hands dirty, but also because James doesn't like when people eat with their hands.
But even this, because the bag was greasy, so it didn't help.
I mean, the bag was only greasy in one spot.
And Frank kept rubbing his face towards the bag, and I was like, oh, that boy's going to have a greasy face. He's going to be breaking out in little pimples. I want to shave him so bad.
Did you have any other stories, or was that it?
I think that's it.
We talked about catfishing before. His first awful date was with Bradster, who was a catfish. And whenever they first met, he was like, "So when did you take that picture?" And he just kind of said, "Oh, that wasn't me. I wanted to get to know you first." But you're still setting a foundation of dishonesty, so it's still not going to work.
Yeah,
so
just
stop catfishing.
Find a younger picture. Just if it's 7 years younger, if you're that, if you're
don't even do that.
No, I'm saying if you're 60 and you want to find a photo 7 years ago just to boost your own self-confidence, that's fine. Maybe if you start getting into, it's fine. Maybe 42 and up, you can go 7 years back. Anything younger, there's going to be a lot of change.
Yeah, just keep your pictures up to date. You can put the old picture in there if you'd like in your little slideshow of pictures. Just make sure you have a current picture.
Like between 91 and 98, you're not going to change much unless you're me, because I was born in 91.
I don't think 98-year-olds are going on Tinder dates.
Oh, they be fucking, bro.
They just got to stay in the nursing home. They ain't got to go out on dates.
Whoa, someone's age shaming over here.
Stay in the nursing home. Don't break a hip.
God damn, that sounded really that sounded like either stay in your lane or stay in your country. And I was like, holy shit, Corwyn.
Stay in your lane. Oh, no. God. Stay in the nursing home. Be safe.
Corwyn. Be safe.
Yeah, don't break a hip.
You can still have a strong hip bone at 98 or 91. And you might have a weak one at 15.
You don't want to leave your descendants with large medical bills because you broke your hip at 98.
Guys, don't listen to Corwyn, our many and many 98-year-old listeners.
Oh, okay.
See in a bunch of years is going to look back at this when they're 98 and say, gotta keep my hip protected.
I'm going to be 98 and I'm going to be like, I'm staying in this nursing home, James.
Oh,
Stop trying to get me to go outside.
I'm going to be 98 and going to say, hey, putting this gun in my mouth already.
Oh, God.
That's
James,
so
that's
old.
depressing.
Yeah, being 98 is depressing.
No, they live a whole life.
If you're 98, hey, don't stay in the nursing home. Stay in that coffin.
Jesus, James.
Yeah, I'm double downing on this. It's bad. If I see a 98-year-old, I'm saying zombie and friggin' pushing it over.
Oh.
If I see a 98-year-old, I'm putting on a helmet so it can't get at my brains. If I see a 98-year-old, I'm showing him the sunlight, because guess what? Zombies is vampires. Or vampires is zombies, because they're undead. Or a ghoulie. Ghoulies is zombies too. Yeah, Corwyn. If I see a 98-year-old, I'm putting dead guts on me so they can't smell my brains, like they did on The Walking Dead. If I see a 98-year-old, I'm not calling them a zombie, because guess what? When a zombie apocalypse is really happening, no one calls them zombies. I'm calling them fogies, because they're old as hell.
There are a bunch of fogies about. I also have a note, Adam lying awake before he finally told his friends that he was gay, just like lying awake with anxiety. That's definitely happened to me a couple of times. Just like sitting there like, oh God. Oh God.
So when you came out, how old were you?
I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay. Was it in college?
Yes.
Did you have like a core group of friends that you were nervous about telling?
Not really.
Okay.
I have literally been, when I was in high school, I didn't really have a core group of friends like that. So it is nice to see a movie with a core group of friends like that, because I jumped around in a bunch of different cliques and friend groups and stuff like that. So I had like one friend from high school that was like my best friend. And I finally told her in college. Actually, I don't think I was 20. I think it was like 18 or 19. And then... yeah.
Corwyn doesn't remember from all that dank he smokes.
No, I was very straight edge in the beginning of college. Didn't do any of that. So yeah, did have a lot of anxiety before I came out with my best friend. So that happened.
And to calm your nerves, you smoke some of that dank.
Nope.
You guzzled some CBD.
Nope. Didn't even get drunk. Just dealt with my anxiety like a person.
Same. That's what I do. Except
And
CBD, but it's not a
held it
drug.
all in. So that was a very real scene. And then I love the comedic bit on the end of it where his friend, best of the best friends, Chris, gets up and throws up, and he's like, "That's not you." Great.
Also, when Jon Gabrus's character comes down and he's like, "What's going on?" and they go, "Adam's gay. He's wearing he's in an open robe, and Jon Gabrus is like a bear of a man, and he just like covers one nipple really quick." Oh, and then they say Adam can't be gay, and then they all go in a circle of giving reasons why. One of them says, I've seen him eat a bunch of steak like every day. One said
Adam can't be gay. He eats steak every night.
Yeah, he ate out a girl in high school, and then I once saw him rebuild an entire engine.
Yeah, he's a handy gay.
I started watching Kimmy Schmidt again. It's so good. I say that because Mikey he fixed their stove on an episode.
What is his job?
He's a construction worker.
Yeah. I was like, I can't remember the word construction worker. I cannot remember what they're called. I was going to say a builder dude.
I would have been fine with it. I think builder dudes would have been fine with it too.
Builder dudes, you do you. Gay builder dudes also do you.
I'm going to a construction site in a couple, in 2 weeks. So I will say, hey, you guys fine with being called builder dudes? I'll scream to my dad. Yeah. I just I got confirmation from one of the builder dudes.
I also liked where his friend was like, I just thought you were oddly high. You had oddly high standards in women. And he just goes, I do. They just need to be dudes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Let me get some of my quotes out of the way. When the neighbor finds out he's gay and doesn't want him to know she knows, she goes, oh, I need to lie down. Decent people lie down. And it's like, what? And then when she leaves, Jon Gabrus goes, menopause is a bitch. Once saw it like, I saw it slap a kid at Macy's once.
Yeah. Oh,
and I laughed very hard at the creepy guy. The catfish guy. He said, do you want to come to my basement? I got Xbox 360s. Have you ever heard Huey Lewis in the news on vinyl? I was like, yes, that kind of guy would ask that.
Yes. And I've been hit on by people like that. And I am like, I am not overly sexual like that. Please stop talking to me.
I thought you were going to say, I don't give a shit about music.
I don't give a shit about music. Don't talk to me.
You could have it on a wax cylinder that you have to hand crank, would not care about the fidelity.
Oh.
Hey, audiophiles out there are going to get a kick out of that joke.
I knew nothing about that.
They used to, wax cylinders. Okay.
Yeah.
And it'd be strapped up to a megaphone.
Yeah.
Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're being... Okay, so I saw my niece over the weekend, and she's very cool, but she was being very patronizing to me, and I was like, quit being a dick. She's 11 and was just like, oh yeah, uncle. And then I said, quit being patronizing, and she's like, yeah, I like my country, Uncle James. I was like, yeah, you're an 11-year-old and dumb because you think that means being patriotic.
Why are you being mean to your niece, James?
No, I was just being a fool and joking with her. And then she's being a tween. And I'm like, get out of here.
You're supposed to be the cool uncle. Why aren't you being the cool uncle? Come on, James.
She had to walk past me and grab something. And before I could say it, my sister goes, oh yeah, watch out, she smells real bad. And then then I go, yeah, she smells like Patrick, our brother, after he got done riding his bike. And then my sister's like, oh yeah, that is what she smells like.
Oh no.
But I think she just got done playing soccer, so that would be why.
B.O.
Now that I'm saying that, she was in the room, so she was, but I don't think she gave a shit. She doesn't care about being cool. She plays violin.
I want to play violin.
Yeah, violin would be pretty cool. Or viola. She plays viola.
I have more notes outside of the viola thing. For a gay dude, he can't take a goddamn picture. They say that before the neighbor finds out, because they're looking at his dating profile, and he does have a terrible picture. And there are so many very attractive dudes I've seen on dating apps and stuff. And I'm like, why don't you know how to take a goddamn picture?
Well, because not everyone's photogenic like you, Corwyn.
They're attractive. You can see they're attractive. They just take a really poor picture.
Okay, selfies ain't for everyone.
Don't even do a selfie. Just get a friend to take a picture for you.
Okay, well then it would be the friend taking the picture.
It's what it's what his friends end up doing to give him a better dating profile.
Guys, just take a picture of your abs. It's fine.
They're good friends. This second time watching it, I enjoyed the friends a lot more. They do have a lot of moments where they feel awkward and they're trying to, they're trying to learn, but they feel awkward and they say stupid things. And Chris kind of reins them in and is like, no, we need to be there for him. We said we'd be there for him, so we're going to be there for him. When they're making like gay jokes and they're like, oh God, can I'm sorry. And he's like, no, do it. You've been doing it for years. I know you don't care or mean anything by that. Just do it.
They all say gay, gay, gay. It feels nice to say.
It was nice seeing like a friend group like that, some bro-esque friends, and them being so supportive and nice to their friend.
Like
I mean, they did still have awkward moments with like the guy that has anger issues and reads was like, oh, he wants to fuck me, and like that stuff was awkward. But I think once they all got used to it and they all got over themselves and started supporting their friend, it was beautiful to see.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak. I haven't been in situations like this, but it feels like a real situation where things got kind of messy, but not blown out of proportion messy. It's not like one of the friends was like, oh, I'm going to get drunk and find my gay friend and try and shoot him. But guess what? I end up trying to suck him off. I mean, I'm also just, it's like, James, you're talking like Harmony Korine type movies, but do you kids and all, or Larry Clark movies. But, like, it wasn't blown out of proportion in either way. It's not like they were instantly super supportive of him.
Yeah.
And like, oh, yes, we love you now. Or, hey, one of us is going to try and kill you to suppress their own homophobic feelings.
Yeah, it was
or own homoerotic feelings. You know what I mean.
Yeah, they had a moment where their friend came out to them and they were uncomfortable with it, but they learned and they grew from it. And that was a very real thing. So it was nice to see. And it was nice to see them growing. And it was funny, the guy who read through the whole movie, like, he was not, he didn't seem like the type to like read and stuff like that. And then he was trying to have small talk with Adam and asked him if he's read any good literature lately, and Adam sent him a link to an article about Kinsey, who does the Kinsey scale, which is the scale on homosexuality and stuff like that. So he sent them that article, and since then you just see the character reading progressively more in depth and bigger books and novels and things like that on sexuality and like
and just the dictionary.
Stuff like that. Yeah. So you're like, oh, that's a cool like characterization. It's a cool thing to see a character doing something like that. Really learning and teaching themselves.
Do North Koreans not really know what bananas are?
I have no idea.
I hope it's not real, but also I do hope it's real because that's just insane.
Yeah, that is insane. No idea. No clue. So that was a moment I liked. A funny moment I liked when he was with Bradster, the catfish, the first time. Well, first thing I didn't like, Bradster was like, oh, are you shallow on looks and stuff? And that was not what catfishing. I feel like that's the thing that catfishes say a lot. Is it like, oh, I want to find someone that's not shallow and stuff like that. And it's like, that's not how you do that.
But also,
because you're lying.
This is the thing. You are trying to find someone who is shallow because you're getting the most attractive picture.
Exactly.
So you're opening yourself up to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just putting yourself out there, then you would know.
And you're trying to emotionally manipulate someone into liking you, even though you kind of suck. Jess asks Chris if they were in bed together, him and Adam, and they were. But I do have guy friends that I have slept in the same bed with. I'm like, that's just a thing. Like,
wasn't that Train who asked that?
No. Well, she says it later.
Okay.
Or no, yeah, it was Train, not Jess. it was Train or Rachel, as we find out at the end. But yeah, she does ask that at the bar, where we actually see, because there's just so much about this movie that I like. But when Rachel's talking to him, he, before that, we see him trying to be supportive of Adam and being like, no, guys, we have to support Adam. And then you see him talking to Rachel or Train and...
or Tracy.
Her real name's Rachel. So you see him talking to her, and he's talking about how much it's making him feel awkward and stuff like that. And she calls him out on it. She's like, do you know how hard that was for your friend to do that? And you're just talking about how awkward poker night was and stuff like that. So she checks him on a little bit of his homophobia that he's internalizing and seeing, and then he grows from that.
Yeah.
And it's like, great. And that's one of those things. It's like, all of us do have to check ourselves. Even me, I'm gay myself, but I have to check myself on my internalized homophobia and things like that. Everyone does, because if you do grow up with privilege, or you grow up in a situation where things like that are normalized, homophobia and racism and stuff like that, you have to constantly be aware of yourself and check yourself, because, you're not going to just suddenly be perfect.
Yeah.
Just because you're aware of homophobia or aware of racism and things like that. You're not going to be perfect. You have to check yourself. You have to watch yourself, especially if you're someone who is in privilege. So that's a nice moment that we saw.
I also liked that because he then takes what she says and does it for Adam. He tries to make himself better for him instead of, which other movies would do, is to impress the girl.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm not even going to call her again because I don't think...
Because he was like, I messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just kind of says, I'm not going to focus on that at all. I'm just going to focus on making this situation that I'm not,
he's focusing on Adam because he knows that Adam is lonely, and Adam is, he feels lonely because he hasn't been with anyone in years, and he just really wants to find someone to be with someone.
Yeah.
So he's focusing on that. He's like, and he tells Ortu and the other guy, I don't remember his name, he tells them that he wants to that Adam is depressed and sad, and that they need to be there for him.
And they are.
It's so good. But back before my tangent on the in bed thing, whenever they were leaving the restaurant and you see Adam in the car and Brad is standing out of it. He's like, I gotta go home to water my plants. And Brad's like, oh, what are your plants? What does that entail? And then I was just like, well, it's if you close your eyes, tilt your head, and then he just drives away.
Yeah.
Best exit. It was great. Beautiful.
How many more notes do you got?
How do you know what Grinder is when they're trying to help him through the apps and stuff? And Ortu and the other guy are just talking about Grinder, and they're just like, what? How do you know what this is?
And then it keeps going on throughout the movie, and then finally Adam says, how do you know so much about gay stuff?
Yeah, and it's never explained. They never acknowledge it other than that. Just why do you know so much about this? Just nothing. Just different conversations happen. It's great. It's beautiful. The farting thing, that was, just be respectful of your dates. Don't fart in a car together after you had nachos so that it's
And if you
stank.
accidentally, if they notice it, if they clearly noticed it, apologize. If it doesn't seem like they heard it or anything, don't bring it up. But if they wink at you afterwards, keep doing it. And they're like, ooh, that's the kind of thing I'm into. Corwyn's reading his notes, which that means this podcast is mine.
Oh, are your notes just a bunch of gay dudes when he's trying to practice with Adam? Adam's trying to practice with Chris about coming out to his parents. And he just starts naming off famous gay people.
Just say no, Mom, it's okay. All these.
He didn't even say it's okay. He's just like, Elton John. Beautiful.
And then he goes, no, I also have famous lesbians.
Yeah. I'm getting Elton John confused because at the at dinner when he's trying to come out with his mom. He's just like, Mom, I am Elton John. And just that's it. He didn't actually come out that time. And his mom is from The Office. It's
Kate Flannery.
Yeah, she's
I think that's
great.
her name.
I don't know her name. I think it's Meredith in The Office. Is that what she?
Oh,
her name is
I've
in The
never
Office?
seen The Office.
She's
I
the
mean,
redheaded.
I've seen it, but
she's the redheaded lady.
I've never sat
great.
down to start watching.
He's close with his parents. He has dinner with them all the time, so that's cute. It's just an interesting, like, little small town, like, slice of life movie. So that's beautiful to see. The guy he goes on the double date with Chris and Jess, and I think it's Mark the artist. He says, "Oh, how can you do that? How can you go through life never creating art? I don't think I could do that." And that was just that's so pretentious and shitty because he's a mechanic. So, cars themselves it's an engineering marvel. It is a work of art. So to be able to fix those and things, it's not different from getting into, artistic pursuits. So to just kind of dismiss someone's knowledgeable skills like that, just because it's not a traditional thing like, paintings and stuff like that, doesn't mean that there's no art in that. And there's so much art in math and in science.
I've told people who have, either blue collar or even white collar, things that aren't in the arts, I tell them I'm super envious of them because I've tried quitting music so many times. But when I do, I can't. For I get anxious about it and I wish I could. And I'm envious of these people who don't have to deal with this constant, dark voice in the back of their head who's saying,
"You have to make a rap song that's going to impact the world or you're a piece of shit."
I mean,
I'm going to put a nice filter on that.
I think the thing to take from this specifically right here is that there is so much in the world that's connected through art and science and math, things like that. You shouldn't have, is it STEM majors that are the art and mechanics and all that stuff?
I have no idea.
You shouldn't have, majors dealing with sciences and math and not bring art into your life in a sense, because a lot of those connect. Like when you're designing a product that you want to work for an everyday person, or you want someone to use every day and stuff like that. You want to design it in a way that it is functional and beautiful. So you need art. Everyone does. And there is so much art in math itself, just how functions work and how and math and art itself as well. And you see things like the Vitruvian Man and stuff like that, where you're from Leonardo da Vinci. A lot of great artists and pieces of art that we see today, a lot of it is interconnected through art and math and things like that. So it's important. Be well-rounded. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's
rap
important.
Music and rap music's just a syllable count. It's mathematic. You got to match up those syllables with how the beat's going.
Music is math. Music is just wavelength.
Yeah.
A lot of it. A lot of it. Chris calls him a honey-duder. That's his pet name. Beautiful.
I mean, it was one time. It's not like he called it a bunch.
Jess says Adam's gay and he's gay. What more is there? There's a lot more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that a lot of people fall into. It's like, oh, these two gay, why don't they just get together? It's like, just because they're both gay doesn't mean they should be together. There's a lot more to that. I just wrote Jess is the worst because she is the worst.
She is.
And then I have my don't know titties, I'm gay. Adam, when he finally does come out to his mom, he takes the sausage out of his father's hand, and then basically
he says, "Mom, you don't get it. It's like this," and just feverishly shoves it in his mouth, in and out.
He basically gives a blowjob to the sausage in a way, and everyone's like, "What?" And his dad's just like, "Adam, I was eating that." He doesn't care about anything else going on. He's just like, I was eating that.
You just wasted food.
And
then handed it back to me.
Why'd you take my sausage like that? I wanted it. Weird Almost Kiss. I could understand why that happened.
Yeah.
Drunk and then, moving in that way is just, it was a very sexual thing that happened, but I'm glad that they resolved it. We did have to have some kind of, conflict in the movie, and it was really well done.
I've always wanted to do a buddy movie, like a friendship movie, where there is no conflict between friends. It's the friends are always together. It's like, I hate that part of Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny where they split.
Yeah.
It shouldn't happen that way. If you are best friends throughout forever, just the conflict should be with an outside force, not those friends.
And even you can have conflict with your friends, but a big part of being friends and like knowing each other for years and stuff like that is when you do have conflict, you can talk about it and you can resolve it quickly. You don't have a falling out over it. Just don't be shitty to your friends, basically, and that won't happen.
Even though I guess like my sister and her friends were constantly having fallouts, then making up. Like her and her friend Mallory probably stopped being friends from a fight maybe 7 times throughout their 15 years of knowing each other.
I mean, just don't be shitty is my only advice for keeping friends. Like, don't be shitty. And if you do something shitty, acknowledge it. Own up to it. Pride sucks.
And hey,
sucks for everyone, so don't be too prideful.
Here's some advice. If you and your friend start fighting, just do a quick little break, start tickling each other, and then you'll be fine.
Oh my God.
Corwyn,
never tickle me in your life.
Corwyn, I'm going to tickle you. My
You
friend
will
Dakota
die.
Rust and I used to tickle each other.
I'm not responsible for my actions if you try that.
You have one more note, Corwyn.
I've got 3. Why did he go out with Bradster again? I don't understand that. Bradster was also the worst. Why did he do that? I know he was lonely, was dumb. He said, I'm gay and I'm shy. Felt that real hard. And then I wrote that Dorothy Kuda is adorable because she shows up at the end and she was adorable. I loved her. I wish we saw more of her in the movie. She was adorable. And that's it. That's all my notes.
All right, what you got to plug? Oh, wait, would you recommend the movie? Absolutely.
I would absolutely recommend
Watch this movie. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Thank you so much for making it, everyone that was involved in the process.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be tweeting at you probably.
Yeah.
Like we have done in the past.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you. I have to plug my theater company, Saltbox Theater Collective. We are doing a show in July and beginning of August. We're doing Macbeth.
Oh, I'm not hearing it. I plugged my ears.
He's plugging his ears because it's superstitious, but we're not in a theater, so it's fine.
Theater of the mind. I keep saying it.
So we're doing that. I will be in it personally, so you can come and see me.
I got it. Oh, can I get a comp? I'm kidding. I will pay for a ticket.
So we're doing that. Look up our website, saltboxtheater.org. All the information will be in the description as always. That is my main plug. Also follow us on Twitter at This Movie's Gay. Follow me on Twitter at Corwynning.
Corwynning.
And that's it. Those are my plugs.
Hey guys, listen
Share
to my
this
other
with your friends.
Yes, absolutely. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Listen to my other podcasts, such as Mostly Speaking Sentai, What the Hell Mouth, that's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast, and I'll get there. Also, I'm going to be on Hit It and Crit It. It's a D&D podcast. I'll be a player character. That's going to be in a few weeks. That's as many details as I can give about that. There are a current campaign going on, but it'll be a nice reset of where the campaign goes when I am included into it. If you would like to listen to any of these podcasts, either search them on wherever you're listening, or go to mlmpod.com. That's mlmpod.com. And also listen to my rap music, Marshland Monster. You can download all of my CDs completely for free at mlmpod.com. And if you would like to donate, go to mlmpod.com. We're trying to get an AC unit specifically for the recording space. It's going to be $130 to get a cheap one. Please, we need it. Let's get it, baby. We'll shout you out just like we've shouted out Steve F. at Hit People Guy on Twitter, Power Playthrough, P Playthrough on Twitter, Eric from Ranger Command PH on Twitter, and It Takes Two to Toku on Twitter. They've donated. Let's get it in, baby. Also, if you're in Chicago and you're looking for a place in an apartment, go to ICM Properties. They're not paying us to do this. However, they have a referral bonus. Put down James McCullum. That's MCCOLLUM. And guess what? I'll get $500. It would be great if you did that. They're great. The one fault they do have, however, is when they are repairing something that, if they don't have to like hire a contractor to do, it's something a super can do, they will be there within hours, meaning if you tell them late at night, they will be knocking on your door at 7 a.m. Yes, that's a very good problem to have, but if you like sleeping in or at least sleeping until 9 and don't want to be waken up by someone just pounding on your door, it might scare you. But yeah, ICMproperties.com. They have a bunch of places throughout Chicago. You'll find a place you love. James McCullum on the referral. All right, that's all I have.
Bye.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. This has been a Marshland Media production, produced by James McCullum. For more content, please visit mlmpod.com. To support our network and have access to exclusive podcasts, head over to patreon.com/MLMpod and sign up today.